Good afternoon, everyone. So first I will make a short and simple explanation of what we have as the case at hand. So we have a company called Schneider that can produce machines that are used in trenchless pipeline laying process. So with these machines, if you wanna do some pipelining, you don't need to dig a trench. You just define a line route underground, and then these machines manage that. However, Schneider lost their investor because they couldn't manage to establish a distribution network. So they decided to sell their company. On the other hand, we have Bauma, which is a company in the field, already has a distribution network, and they are considering buying Schneider. As for Bauma, the company value of Schneider heavily depends on the patent portfolio of Schneider. So we have been tasked to evaluate Schneider's patent portfolio. So in order to create IP value, these three aspects has to come together. So as complementary assets in our case can be the manufacturing facilities of Schneider, also the ability of planning line routes. The value potential is the exclusivity from their patent portfolio, and the exploitation process is of course the marketing and selling of the product, as these are the trenchless pipe laying machines. If you consider the densely populated cities and so on, we can say that this is a highly marketable product. My colleague will continue with the analysis of the valuation context. Thank you.
I will continue with the exposition. I want to talk about the analysis of the valuation context. To start with the analysis, we have to take into consideration these 4 points. The first point is related to the cost of the valuation. So, to determine that, the first step, we have to answer this question: what is the reason for the valuation? In this case, the valuation is caused because of the transfer oriented. It means that, as my colleague explained before, Bauma wants to buy, is thinking about to buy the company. So for this reason, our company is have to evaluate the patent portfolio and so on. Okay, related to the second step of the analysis, the purpose, which role has the evaluator? The evaluator has a consulting role. Well, we are as a consultant, so this is the purpose of the evaluation. The third step, the goal. We have to answer this question: which information is considered for the evaluation? The evaluation goal is the assessment of the subject valued. This is connected with the other ones, because we have to make evaluation of the patent portfolio in order to sell our company in the future to the Bauma. So the goal is make the evaluation of the patent portfolio for a subjective value for our own. The final, well, in this case, the address. Who is to receive the value information? The value of performance is for internal information address. Is for us.
So with the analysis of our evaluation, we want to start with the direction of our analysis, which in this case is an inside-out direction, because we have the information for the company on the inside, and we're going to look how it's going to change in the market. And with that, we start with the function of the IP might have. So as a function of the IP, we have the exclusivity and the monopolization of those patents. And so we also protecting own inventions against imitation. And with that, we have then the impact, which maintains our technology lead. And then the appropriation, which with the complementary goods of our own goods and then the added IP, we can sell our own products more. So we create a unique selling position. And then the economic effect will be the price premium. So we have the higher sales of output and the higher margins.
So we are on to structuring the valuation model, and I think with this, the main reason to do this is for Bauma to kind of assess whether and make the decision of whether they want to invest or not, right? And to do that, they kind of identified that the patent portfolio is the most valuable part of the company, and they're trying to put a value on it. To do that, one is to really compare whether they make an investment in this versus the potential of making investment in an alternative, and you do this with implementation of the comparison by using risk adequate discount rates. In the way that they kind of look at the value is through this value realization within the value chain of Bauma itself. So if it were to take in this patent portfolio, what is their perceived or forecasted value in use? So to determine such a value in this transfer-oriented cost, we use a income approach. So it's kind of to assess the types of income they're going to generate in the foreseeable future, the lifetime of this patent portfolio. And the approach to do this that we recommend would be to use the relief from royalty method. So for Bauma to assume, say in the event that they did not own this patent portfolio, how much it would cost them to pay a third party with the rights, and then apply that as the cash flow within the income approach.
We've heard about the recommended method for valuing the patent portfolio, but before starting, it's now time to look at the question whether there's any specific requirement to objectify our model that we're going to use for the valuation. And this question is easily answered by looking at the initially presented purpose and goal of the evaluation. So we are here in a transfer-oriented context, so we want to sell the patent portfolio, or the valuation is to establish a sales price for the patent portfolio. And the addressee of the valuation will be an internal addressee, so that's the management of the client Bauma. And this means that the determined value will be subjective, and it's completely okay to use subjective structure for the valuation model. The result of such an subjective valuation model will in the end not be comparable to other results of other valuation models, but that's not of any concern in this case because we are here in a subjective context. So it will be okay to use available data and assumptions provided by the client and to be considered in this valuation. Nonetheless, if we look into this kind of information that we get, we'll still have to make sure, as we are talking about a transfer-oriented valuation, that the data that we receive is reliable, that it is complete, and that we gather as much information as possible to incorporate all relevant factors in this valuation. For example, if you look into the valuation of a patent portfolio, you should do your due diligence. You should have a look into the prosecution proceedings, the actual prosecution status, maybe do some FTO also on the fields of the technology the patent portfolio concerns, so that you can make sure that you can actually exploit the patent portfolio in the end.
Okay, so I will summarize the valuation model that has been presented by my colleagues previously. So it's in a nutshell, we are talking about a transfer-oriented approach with the goal of subjective value for internal evaluation for our client Bauma. So we can see that in terms of the subject matter, the question the question of what is valuated is the assessment of the value in use of the portfolio. In terms of decision, the decision situation that has been analyzed is the alternative investment case, where we compare with internally required rate of return that has been specified by Balmer. So in terms of value determination, so we have considered different approaches, and we consider that the income approach is the most appropriate in this case, in particular for the relief and from royalty method, so that so that Balmer can avoid paying royalties to Strinder. And in terms of objectification, the information that we considered is the subjective implementation, planning, and prospects. As for information, we considered all of available information that has been shared by Strinder through the intermediate of Balmer. We did our reliability check whenever information is available, and we consider that the information is reasonably complete. So with that, if you would like to consult any of the details of the analysis, the report is over here at your disposal.